pretty stark agreement with the rest of the desk.
I would absolutely agree with you. And Oregon, I don't think I've ever been happier to see this fly in. It feels like it's been centuries since you and I casted this game.
It's like the Soniqs is home, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
So
it basically
used to be.
Exactly. They might as well brand the entire map in Soniqs wear because they do live here. Direwolves going to be banning things out. So we get into this. Habana going to be removed first. A mainstay here on Oregon, making quite a bit of sense. Direwolves will be starting things out on the offense, so they're going to hammer themselves here with a little bit of a Ying ban. Slow things down for the execution. Get rid of those Candelas. Direwolves, not that great of a tournament, but for the Soniqs, a lot happening for them when it comes down to it. Some fantastic days that we have seen from them. And not only that, but Citizen switching over from G2 real recently. And he's still at the very helm of the Sonic scoreboard. Very top, tied with Rexen at a 1.19. He's got 2 less kills, but he's got a better KD spread at a +17, while Rexen's at a +14. A KPR of a 0.85, and I believe a cost, yes indeed, of 80%. So Guy has been absolutely ludicrous this entire tournament. That's going to wrap up our ban phase there, folks, as well. Wamai and Solus going to be banned out for you folks at home that are listening. We're going to get into this Oregon game and see what's going on. Excited to see what potentially we can have. It's going to be a minute, actually, as we have to get one more Sonics member in here. Somebody's computer was messing up, so we just paused it right at the end of the ban phase, so just give us a moment.
Yeah, well, mine's going to be not necessarily normal, per se, but it makes perfect sense, once again, as have most of our bans here. This is still a very utility-heavy map, especially when it comes to executes. So that basically removes one step of the defender equation to counter out said utility. Makes it a little bit more difficult. Forces a potentially unfamiliar playstyle to be brought out. So hopefully he's going to shake up those teams. Like Stokes said, he did just have a quick disconnect. We've already got that player back into the lobby. So things should be resuming momentarily. Apologies, folks, for that quick slip up, but it looks like we are into it. And here we go. Except for Habana, Ying, Wamai, and Solus are the bans. So let's get into round number 1 here on Oregon.
All right, well, let's see if Citizen can maintain. Right about these stats here for you guys. He's 5th right now. The best in the tournament for entries at +9. And he's 2nd for cost, right behind DS Lucas from M80, who's at 82%. Citizen at 80, like we were talking about before. So very, very close. Might be able to actually get that one over on him here inside of this best of 3. Now to see how that breaks down, though, we're going to be starting off in the basement. It's going to be the Sonic setup. Not going to have access to the Wamai discs, and that more than likely means, in perfect timing, the Capital is going to show up.
Yep, certainly will. Going to be able to add that extra, very useful piece of utility. And, oh, hold on. Looks like we are not getting started with things just yet.
Might have had a drone bug there.
Yeah, so we get a drone bug or something like that.
Let's go, 42.
So
I always love those
House
jokes.
bug, apparently.
Always love those jokes whenever that kind of stuff happens in scrims or whatever. It's like, oh, guys, thanks for the pick. That's one of my favorites in just like a rank game or whatever too. Like whenever somebody accidentally team kills on the other team, you just type in, "Hey, nice shot," just stuff like that. Let's see if they're talking about anything.
Glitchers? They're glitching. We leave the lobby and then there's instantly 3 observers. Oh, yeah.
just a lot of keyboard spamming right now more than anything going on.
In case you guys were wondering what your IT department's doing, yeah, this is what it looks like. That's Gunner, by the way. Just wanted you guys to know.
That's apparently his war cry as well. He made that noise like right before it came to us as the desk was finishing. I don't know if anyone else heard it, but right before he did that, he put in chat, "Anyone want to hear my war cry?" And then that was the noise that popped out.
Oh my goodness gracious. We got handed the monkey pit today. Like, what is this game already? We haven't even gotten a round in, man.
We're in the jungle gym.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get it. Okay, map is restarting, folks. Apologies for a little bit of a bumpy start here. Hopefully things proceed without any further interruption once we actually get started with this round. But hey, at least the Sonics are in good spirit about it here, having some fun.
I think everybody is. School's out, baby. It's recess. Let's get back into this game. Laundry room supply. Everybody's going to have to keep the same operators that we saw inside of those lineups prior. So that's all y'all got to know at home. That's it. We've covered all the bases. Let's get into this thing and see if we can have some people shooting each other. Let's find something fun. Let's do some stuff.
Indeed. So let's head in game. Peep how round number 1 is going to play out. We'll wait until we have confirmation that everything is all set. We're going to go right into the game here. So let's take a peep. Everybody cross your fingers that we don't see a magical RH in the chat. and then we are good to continue moving forward here and actually get this game started. Soniqs, in terms of their defensive lineup that they will bring to bear, it is going to be mainly delay focus, which really shouldn't be surprising here. It's basement after all. We're going to have both the Goyo canisters as well as the toxic babes and the smokes. Gunner will also be somewhat contributing to that delay, of course, with the electric claws denying access to areas like the electrical hatch, maybe a critical wall or two if the play style dictates it, and then some pretty normal picks for the last two.
Yes, indeed. And as we were talking about previously, Direwolves are going to have to stick with something quite similar to what they had inside of that first round phase there before we got so rudely interrupted. So we'll go back to that. But fairly straightforward affair here. They're going to have Capital with the secondary hard breach. He's going to assist with the hatches. Maverick will get the extras if they really need to do so. So not too big of a deal. Have the redundancy here so they can both act somewhat aggressively if they need to. But just don't want to go too far down that line. Could get themselves punished. Direwolves, though, some confidence. Going to be starting off. Soniqs potentially over inside of Z. I think they actually will have the Goyo over here. That's going to be Citizen, as well as I do believe Gunner on the stairwell. So nice little interaction we could have here soon.
Gunner.
Oh, they got him.
He gets spotted out there. Won't be able to necessarily aggress so far forward anymore, but Citizen still trying to press the issue, specifically over towards Classroom. Pecan getting brought down very low, but Gunner's still going to get found via a nice nade. He's taken down first this time. Harambe here out front, like we said before, the potential for him to see a challenge against him, but not going to come to blows. They don't have enough confidence in it, especially with the damage being done to Gunner there a few seconds prior. So just going to back away, give the respect over, and play into the basement now.
Yeah, unfortunately on the cross there, just really didn't give himself enough breathing room to assist himself. At least from that perspective. More than likely was assuming that somebody might challenge from the bottom of the stairwell. Could have assisted with that, but the cross there from Citizen way too quick. Would have been ungodly reaction time if he was able to get that. I don't believe we have any secondary EMPs. We didn't see any earlier, and that's what the torch is for. So gonna have to bring in Souffle and start working on this. Single nitro cell still resides in the basement, so if Citizen does want to get cheeky, could potentially go for that to try and play back for a pick, but more than likely, we'll just wait to see what Direwolves' next move has been. Again, they haven't had the greatest of tournaments, so Soniqs might just bank on the fact that they might just mess up this execution, and it's taken them a while to get this hatch. Souffle will finally get it open. It was Swiss cheese there for just a split second.
You know, like the burn marks all over the floor there, you can see as he was splitting it up a little bit, trying to get the job done. But the job is eventually completed here, and we do have access opened up for the Direwolves now. A little bit of hesitation, though, as they still have to work their way through all this delay utility that the Soniqs roster had set up, such as the Toxic Babe, which we just saw deployed over towards those backstairs. Soniqs want to fight, too. You can see they are ready to directly contest against these drops and potential descent from the staircase should we see the Direwolves trigger towards it, which they're going to have to, obviously, over the next 30 seconds here, running low on time. Need to see them put the right foot forward, but again, still waiting out on utility delay. That's explaining all this hesitation right now. They don't have the full brunt of their push ready to go, so they don't want to move in without it, but they're going to be left without a choice. Because now we're down to those final 20 seconds. Rexon already picking up two. Grixer as well with the spot through the smoke. The flames presenting his opponents for pushing in it. Rexon with two more, and it's just a shutdown for the Soniqs here. Souffle now the only one standing in a 1v4. Not really much hope to win it out in the clutch. Gio will shut it down, and the Soniqs claim round number one.
Patience is a virtue for Soniqs. Back it off after Gunner gets picked up early, and let the site speak for itself. It's a tough cookie to crumble. Offense trying to work their way around it. Like the smoke play from the Capital, but you could tell just from the Warden band coming in, the Soniqs already know exactly what their strategy is going to be. Although they don't know what the offensive lineup is till obviously pretty deep into the round, they can sense that Capital is around just due to that ban happening. So bringing in the Warden, having him play an elbow, having him play around these spaces where smokes are more than likely going to be used to break up those choke points is going to make it impossible to use the operator, therefore meaning the ban is practically useless past that point. You know, he is obviously going to at least soften things up when it comes to throwables, so some more nades might land, that kind of stuff. But if that was just your main strategy, was we want Capital, therefore we ban Wamai, it looks like the Soniqs have already figured that one out.
The Soniqs up on the right foot here for round number one, as we would have expected them to find. The Dire was already going to try to bring in a Montaigne to change things up here as they go for the second site that they'll attack up on the second floor here. Now, no sign of a repick coming up to that. We have a lot of supporting utility coming in forward as well here. So now we'll see the Togepi ending up getting swapped in on the repick phase, but only that. Everything else remaining the same from the pick phase there. Even a Finka being brought towards it as well. Obviously, an operator we've seen fallen from grace in huge fashion in the last few months. They essentially lost her nades.
Yep, nerf to the LMGs definitely didn't assist either. A lot more recoil later on into the spray pattern. Some players still capable and willing to play them, but a lot of people going back to the ARs, the days of old in Rainbow Six. But still pretty slow with the movement, 1-year ADS due to the recent changes they had with that as well. Rexon's going to have a nice little peek here. Trying to hold things up on the shower side. This is going to be slow rolling here from Dire Wolves. They're now forced to solve a puzzle they're more than likely not used to. You don't usually see people that forward over on the shower side just because of that cross there. You see how Rexon is able to just escape. You saw how wary he was of the bus position. But the Dire Wolves player completely gone. Pecan playing in late as well here in comparison to the timing there for Rexon. So very well done from them.
Phone call has already come out. Soniqs having a lot of info bled onto them, but they are still ready for the challenge. Citizen striking true here for the first kill on the round. Pecan looking for an exchange, but he's firing blind with that nade right now. No one near any of these points. Just going to chuck one up. Whoa. Really ends up hitting his Montaigne a bit there. As he works his way to the top of the stairs. Still going to be able to find out all this presence. You can see quite a bit of an active roam going on here. The zombie barricade just blocked that directly out and try to slow things down. Once again, comms are in. The nade bounce goes a little bit deeper than I think they would have liked it to. It still takes care of business here. Jackie Wu getting hit with something there, either an impact or another form of explosive there. Brings him down to about 50% of his HP, but that's where the Finka comes in to help boost him up a little bit further.
And in the last minute we go. Dire Wolves, not a lot of map control. Haven't even really worked for Master yet. Harambe will pick up Rexon. Geo playing shotgun inside of Master. They still have a reinforcement panel. They do. So if there's no white influence, he might be able to slap this back together here. That's on the other side of the Monty as well. So has to watch his angles. A lot of potential though. No nitro cell, he's got the bulletproof instead. Flips around, gets the shots! No, not this, Geo! You can't do this to these men! Jackie Wu's gonna get away, but somehow Geo gets it done as well. Geo, the last one alive, a Frostmat, picks up Souffle. Jackie Wu, lots of HP, he can try and bear down on the location. Harambe trying to assist him as well. Oh, Jackie Wu gets it done though. Scary moments there for Dire Wolves as Geo gets away with so very much.
Geo very realistically could have had that clutch right there, but unfortunately the distraction mainly coming in from bedroom draws all of the ire from the Soniqs. They're not even paying attention to that attic push when everything gets deeper into the site. As a result of that, the defensive matrix, as it were, for the Soniqs falls to pieces. Everything is left in Geo's hands, and although he comes relatively close to the clutch, is not able to get it outright.
Monty 1v1s are so fun, aren't they? So always a good time.
Just a big slap fight at the end of the day.
And it's like the worst Elden Ring boss ever.
Yeah.
It's like I rolled, I swear. I promise.
It's like fighting those guys in Dark Souls 1 that just had 2 shields on their weapons.
Yes.
I don't think you can still do that anymore in the later games. But
You die for the 3rd time. You're just like, what kind of hell is this? That's literally what it feels like playing against a good Monty player. That's also why we've seen a lot of teams prioritizing him in some certain situations throughout every single map, it seems, in our pool currently. So see if that continues to be a trend throughout the rest of the tournament. Frost definitely has been as well. But you know what hasn't been? We got to touch on it every time. Vigil. Grix will be playing that. We'll look over the Soniqs roster here and see how often they've been playing that, because I am curious.
oh, pay attention to the Dire Wolves' early push here. Away from that is Pecan and a few of the others ready to move up, but Pecan gets caught on the hop up from the white van on bedroom balcony. Citizen slaps him right down to the ground. A pretty much perfect pre-fire timing there on the barricade. Pecan is none the wiser to it, and as a result, once again, 1-0 lead in terms of the kill ratio for the Soniqs right from the beginning of the round. Very similar territory for them as we've already seen for the past 2.
All right, so this will be the 5th round that they've played Vigil, but really cool thing about this, they actually have a 100% win percentage when they do bring Vigil. So this might be a guaranteed round if stats matter. Have to see. Pecan will go down. Already a positive boon here for the Soniqs. Jackie will get rid of the default camera and trying to assist with this push in through lobby. Just have that drone in tow, but it doesn't seem like there's any active play going on for that. Racy's going to focus upstairs into attic and start rotating in. They do have a soft panel to try and abuse for kids. Grix is going to be holding things down in meeting as well. Not too much activity from the Soniqs in an aggressive tone. Dire Wolves mostly just gathering their positions up top. Gonna try and play this in from east towards west, break down this top floor, and try and influence these positions, particularly Geo's spot over here inside of Kid. Citizen's gonna step up to the plate, try and help with this though.
Half the round now gone. Pressure about to work its way in against that bedroom position. But as you can see, it's going to be a long delay on that because of the fact that we have this reinforced panel. Maverick having to waste time, popping up in an angle that the attackers can use so they can properly swing this without risk to themselves. Even Harambe adding to this one as well. Citizen now able to successfully strike back, not just once, but twice. Nearly gets a third against Harambe. A big window there too, has drawn all the pressure off of Geo here on the inside of the actual dorms. Harambe has been able to trade out one, but it's only against Gunnar. It's far too little here. Ray C, though, maybe helping to make things up a little bit further as he does successfully knock out Geo finally and bring it down to a much more palatable 2v3.
So impressive how Citizen can play these situations to the absolute limit and still stay alive routinely. Able to escape an entire situation, gets back down towards sight. Now the Soniqs, once again, well within their right to take this round. Active player over towards meeting, far side there on kitchen. Have one in security. They know Ray C's upstairs now, though. Not gonna get him into too much trouble. No Nitro cells here to try and assist with this. Harambe's been discovered. No team play here from Direwolves. Both of them on completely separate planets. I think these astronauts are about to go down though. Planet's gonna start here. Ray C, no real cover obviously, and they know where he is. He gets one, he gets the second. No way! Has to try and stick it, but that's gonna be the round. You have to feel for the Dire Wolves there. It feels like if Ray C has any help in trying to force a plant in Cafe, they might have a round on their hands.
Certainly seems like it would have been the case. Like you said, that team play, needing to see just a bit more cohesion, and that one could have easily come together behind Ray C's fragging prowess. Does not end up happening.
Okay. Yeah, I was curious. There's not very much conversation going on over here. Yeah, I just wanted to know. We're about 3 rounds deep. There's just not too much talk. Obviously, you and I have no idea what they're saying, but you can kind of get the body language, you can get the tone. You know, there's just not very much going on over on the Direwolf side at the current moment.
Certainly not the case. Resignation to a certain extent, you could almost call it, but still trying to keep themselves composed as well throughout the rest of this series. We'd mentioned the pregame. Certainly wanting to put a good performance. Not the way you want to send your team off from the event, even though the elimination is already locked in. Definitely want to have a good performance for the fans at home. Soniqs are back now into the basement, of course, able to rerun into this site for the first time since round 1, as it has been, of course, now unlocked for play. A bit of a different flair on this one this time. We basically swapped the Goyo out for a cap can instead. Also added a mirror into this one. I don't believe they used the zombie back on round number 1, so I think that's also being added to this setup for the first time. Either way, should work out perfectly fine, in my opinion.
Well, key thing here, Soniqs aren't going to bring the Warden back. Probably because they haven't seen the Capitao again. Direwolves really haven't been playing it since that first round where things went so very wrong. So this might be a big positive move from them. They're able to get that going. Gunnar with a nice move up top, but do they know that he's going to be moving around this top floor? Rexon able to get one. I believe that was a Nitro cellar of some sorts going off. Yeah, it looks like Citizen already using his. That's going to be able to change things out, exchange that utility for a nice kill onto Pekin. And they've started every single round in a positive light. Gunnar could not buy a life if he wanted to, man. Like, no Mario mushrooms, nothing. Unfortunate.
Just not ended up on the top of the totem pole on any of these rounds so far. Gunnar, once again.
He's even trying to, like, air dash past windows, and he still can't get it to go. I'm feeling for him.
He's trying the movement tech, what little of it there is in Siege here, to try and see if they can get himself into a better position for these fights, but it's just not happening.
Well, maybe round 5 will be his, John. Maybe just takes a little warm-up, right? It's like a diesel when it's cold outside.
Just gotta let it sit for a few minutes.
Exactly. Don't get on the gas too much.
Let it idle for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Gunnar, you play the game when you want to, buddy, okay? It's all right.
Well, we've got Harambe primed to start a push in through Laundry down below here. Certainly going to be a few more moments, though, before he or anyone else on the Direwolves is ready to start the full attack. Got all the info right there, though, just with that little peek. Knows the exact setup for the stack at the moment on the Sonic side of things. But once again, like I said, probably not going to be super actionable by the time they are ready to execute, just because he's getting it now. He's not getting it right before the actual execute. So
yeah, the other thing is that the timing is just pretty poor from Direwolves. The Sonics have been doing a bang-up job of getting their pick and falling back. They might show some presence whilst doing so, maybe lose somebody like Gunner when that happens, but they do their due diligence. They get back to site, they play it from there, see if they can get some big pickups, and it's really thwarted Direwolves' game plans because now they're playing everything down into the last 20 seconds every single time, and the utility game is so very strong from the Sonics routinely. Not so much this time around. The last time around, obviously, they had smoke and a lot of other things in play, like the Warden, to really assist with things, but this is looking circumstantial, quite similar man count-wise to what we saw the last time, where they were able to just quickly dispatch everybody on the entry. Smoke's out here, pre-fires out, Rexen in a pivotal position inside the site.
Rexen continuing to wait back here. Geo with the first pickup, and once again, it just all falls into the hands of Sonic's defense. Can't even keep up with the kill feed. It's happening so quickly. A shutdown for them on their basement hold, a second successful defense, and now Direwolves will call for their timeout.
FPS fundamentals dictated that if you're going to play off the smoke, let's not do it at the very tail end of the smoke's timer. And just think that that might be one of the big punishing factors there for Direwolves. We're going to take a listen in and see what's going on.
Play ace around it and use it for flank punch, and then put your drums deeper in the basement. They'll probably roam any basement because you can't do their own work. And for kitchen, better open up the top white wall. Yeah. But you can't miss this switch. 2 steps, I mean. But yeah, most important part, you can't get them early cards. That's it. Let's not push them early. So focus on one of the players. After that, we can not so much deeper. Okay. Yeah. So let's go.
好，给他瘦掉我的好背。
All right.
前期跟皮卡一起。
You want me to go Cade and just fucking
I'm playing something with smoke.
Cade the wall, yeah, Cade the wall, bro. That'd be good. I'm gonna double frost that big window, and then I'll put a frost mat top. I'll put a frost mat top light. So
Guys, don't reinforce one wall downstairs because we need
Listen,
to reinforce up the 2 walls here.
Richie, I'm getting none of the walls, by the way. Oh, Gio,
All right, ladies and
I
gentlemen,
want smoke so
get
you
yourselves
can go.
back
You're not gonna get any of the
into the
walls.
game now as the round has started. Let's cut away from those comms, as interesting as they are.
I will tell you this, though. Those Sonics comms, man, that's some sexy stuff right there. That's gorgeous. They're figuring out in the moment, John. They're problem solving as a team. You can't have one person that does the entire, braining for the entire squad. It just doesn't work. It hasn't for a very long time in Siege. You can only have so many set strats. Past that, everybody has to have some semblance of what's going on, right? And it sounds like the Sonics across the board have a very good conversation happening. Like I said, in the moment, you have reinforcement panels getting talked about. You have different ways of setting up the frost mats than prior. All this that it isn't. Hey guys, check subsection B of the rule book for It's just in the moment, and they're playing it out. I love what I'm hearing here.
All right, well, into another round we go. For the Direwolves, things are certainly starting to look a bit bleak here. As once again, have been unable to piece together these crucial rounds. Have come close to doing so as well. Sonics, of course, are making quite a few mistakes, especially when it comes to their early game, being a little bit lackadaisical about the way they're playing out their positioning from time to time. And that is leaving plenty of windows of opportunity for the Direwolves to succeed, but it's only actually led into a winning round 1 time so far. So you need to try and capture these a little bit better. Souffle is going to try and steal away that first kill yet again. He's gone sneaky beaky here on the inside of meeting. See if he can potentially grab some of these positions over towards Attic, especially if those players try to flush back down through that hatch as a safety rotate.
Oh, peeking. Life flashing before his eyes again, and he steps up. Eats another shot to the chest. 1 HP. They don't have the Finka in the lineup this time. No way he gets that health back. Jackie Wu now has to try and get this Twitch drone around on the top floor as well. Not too much really happening here for Direwolves. They're looking to try and get some sort of foothold around the building. They've been able to manage to get Souffle in here towards meeting. But he's really the lone wolf in this regard. Has the frag grenade. This could go off onto Citizen. And actually, it's going to clean up Rexen Oh my!
that was-
that had
had to have been another
Yeah,
nade.
I was peeking over here. That was just uncanny timing. Oh my goodness!
No way he threw that nade, right?
I was like, that thing just pulled a portal too and just went right through the wall.
He's got phase nades. Just can work their way through walls and stuff. But we're going to see Direwolves still have a very successful opening kill against Rexen as a result of that one. So good pick up from him there. Now for the rest of the Sonics. I'm going to be extra cautious, or at least you would think so.
Geo
when
on
they
the prowl.
proceed from this point forward, but as Stokes just mentioned, Geo being a little bit more courageous about his positioning. Probably not going to be so much anymore, though, as he just got spotted out dead to rights by that drone. Gunnar did get away with a trade. Finally,
Oh, no.
the game here as he's picked one up for himself, but
I'm breathing heavy, John. Oh God!
everyone just sweat a little bit when we went to that screen for.
Oh, he got it! Oh man. Okay.
Come on, actually got a kill at top white.
Geo prone top white, and it worked out. Oh my.
I don't hear that sentence very often.
Flashbacks to the EG days in Empire in Milan.
Wasn't he on that roster too?
I do believe he was at that time. What a moment. What a time to be alive for a lot of us. Soniqs all over the Dire Wolves, and it's going to be a frost mat that wraps it up there as he hops in the window. The double frost mats that we heard, I believe Rexen talking about in the pregame, working out there.
Yep. So nicely done by the Sonics. Once again, very little issues holding on to their setup. The extended roam, a little bit make or break from time to time, but they seem to have pretty good control of it, as we saw with Geo at the end of the day. Just some unavoidables when everything is said and done, like the nade work that they can't really do much about if Direwolves are bringing a proficient setup to work those types of things. So into what is going to be the final round of the half now. Sonics very realistically could be looking at a 5-1 here, as long as they repeat their success from back on round number 3.
Citizen back onto the Warden. Frost in for Rexen again. Cameras are bound for Grixer. This is a pretty nice setup here for the Sonics. They're going to extend out towards the eastern front, start building things up in meeting. I like this extension. You know, this is an area that you don't really want to give up if you're playing kitchen. Because if you do, they are simply able to just abuse the double wall going back in towards that kitchen space and make things pretty difficult on you. So I really like that the Sonics have built this into their overall strategy, trying to hold this portion of the building. It doesn't seem like we're going to have a lot of vertical play going into this, but we really don't have to. We really just need to seal up the hatches. That's what needs to happen for the Sonics, and they've done that. We got the hatches sealed, and not only that, but we also have the deal done as well as their electroclad.
So into the round we go.
That's a fun little house of mirrors upstairs, isn't it?
Certainly is going to be fun to see if the player inside of it can actually survive. We already saw a few months back, for those who remember, it was Super that had a fantastic play from the inside of it. Not looking like we'll necessarily get that on this round. However, Rexen tries to go for a hop out from the doorway. Gets caught out here. Gunnar still positioned by the small tower with the potential to play out aggressively still from the inside of it, but we'll have to wait and see just what kind of play potential he'll have, as the Direwolves are not necessarily trying to execute through that route right now.
We finally hit the peak of North American aggression, where we eventually turn into what APAC can deal with, which is gunfights. And they've killed 2 people. And also one of those came with a hop out. So far, so good. Looking a little bit like APAC, ain't it? All right, well, Ray C is going to go down. Grixer as well. Citizen getting refrags. Man, this really is APAC.
Sonics with a quadruple down here on their peaks by going for 2 additional aggressive fights after losing 2 of their players earlier on in the round. Finally winning that bet back, it seems, as they're even at least now on money. Just going to have to try and see if they can make their way out with some type of positive net.
I truly am a fan of the APAC playstyle. They are at each other's throats constantly. But you can see the Sonics are there for that as well. Able to equalize. They knew they had to do something early and set the tone, otherwise Direwolves are going to be able to just use their man count advantage on the actual site. Unlikely get a plant down. It'd be way too hard for the Sonics to work it out from that point. Souffle will go down now. Sonics in full control as the case will hit the floor.
Gunnar with that pickup. Brings it down to Harambe as well as Peekant for the attacking side of this one. Citizen still the only player currently inside of the actual site zone too, so being hunted down quite aggressively by the DW roster. Hot ping onto him as well. A nice catch here from Grixer, though, does catch Peekant just because they had no idea where the other 2 players are positioned. That's the big problem right now for the Direwolves, with them being low numbered as well. They don't really have the excess drone count to be able to try and suss these things away. So the Sonics have been able to hide a lot, and now just a very casual hold here, waiting for Harambe to make what will more than likely be his final move on the round.
Stalwart positions here from Soniqs. Practically impossible for Harambe to win this.
15 seconds left.
Hops out, he's going to go classroom side, and it's going to be pretty easy for Grixer.
Pretty much as you'd expect, yeah.
Yeah, I heard the skeleton keep popping upstairs. He was actually in the hallway. I thought he was still over in medium, but an even easier audio cue there for him. So far, so good for Oregon and the Soniqs. To be expected, especially from the North American perspective. We know how sufficient Soniqs are on this map. They are fantastic when it comes down to it. Proficient would probably been a better word there, but either way, they are quite good at what they do. Looks like we might... Okay, we're just going to be showing what they're talking about. Shh, shh, shh.
We might just do a back take here. I'll call it though. Tell me what they're doing.
Okay. Wait, what?
So it's a play-it-by-ear play here. As you can see, the Soniqs not necessarily decided on what they want to do yet for this round, but potentially 2BD.
That's a beauty of attack repick as well, right? You kind of get to initially look at what's going on, figure out later on what you want to do. You can see that they're kind of worried about a potential roam game coming out from Direwolves, so they're going to bring in the Jackal as well as the Dokkaebi. I mean, there is potential for that, right? And you have the Capcan. Got some other things going on here where Direwolves feel the need, feel the necessity to sit on one of these mid to top floors. As for the Soniqs, I think the strategy is awesome, honestly. I like what we're seeing for the lineup. Love the Flores coming in here. There's no mute jammers to really thwart that, so it's just going to drive right around the Jaegers and go right under the laser gates. So don't have too much to worry about in that regard. Should be a pretty smooth delivery from Grixer.
Doubt the roam is going to be too aggressive, if at all, from Direwolves here. It actually looks like the Soniqs might just skip that part of the round two here and go potentially right for a site take. A large presence amassing over here towards construction this early on. Gunnar as well. Oh, Ray.
Got
almost
wow.
Missing that one. Taking some damage himself, but at the end of the day, just loses pretty much all of his utility. Gunnar with the spot, not correct myself. Direwolves apparently getting way too aggressive here. That's the sad part, unfortunately, about the Rooney punch, is that she'll make a much bigger hole. Well, yes, that's great for your gunfight purposes. It's not great for trying to stay obscure in that position.
Ray, you get back in that building.
What are you doing, Ray?
Ray, you get back in that building, Ray. go to timeout. That's ridiculous. You are smoke. Oh my.
It's like, well, we're down one.
This man just...
Time to fight.
Every law of Rainbow Six Siege, he just broke it. Like, this man needs pulled over. He can no longer have a license. Like, get him off the road.
Thankfully, the Soniqs do not have any presence there at that time when he goes for it, so he remains relatively safe and is given considerable time to reconsider his actions.
This is... Just how absurd is that? I actually have a flank coming in here from Jackie Wu. I think this might be the only portion of this roam game that could work out.
Though?
Yeah, but do they know that he's there? Oh no, they don't know, John.
The thing is, he's also not expecting the player in Classroom is not expecting a stair play, so he's more focused on a push from lower stairs. If that player peeks first and Gunnar shoots in response, that should be a very easy trade for the upstairs player. However, everyone's just going to end up backing away, it looks like.
Well, unbeknownst to them, it was a Mexican standoff, and not a single person pulls the trigger. Impacts out for Souffle, tags Rexon up, and I mean just tags, not too much going on past that. I think that other player prone is outside the building, so not too much to worry about for the Soniqs. An aggressive front here from Citizen, and now they're going to try and flood in via construction. Two big pickups, Direwolves fight back. Soniqs thought that they had the cleanup on the roam game, but simply did not have enough in the tank. Stuns out now. It's a 1v3 for Grixer. Plenty of time for him, plenty of talent as well at his disposal. He'll pick up one as he starts us off.
Soniqs with quite literally zero respect for the defensive setup that Direwolves had on this round, as they try to quite literally brute force their way through even mollies that were sitting on the ground there as well, incendiaries that have been blowing up. As Grixer now tries to the remaining 1v2. That's a very long-range M590 kill as well to finish things off, but it'll work out at the end of the day for the players on Direwolves for the reasons I described before. Soniqs just thought they could gunfight their way to a win, and to be fair, in the past, on the defensive half, that was correct to some extent, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be necessarily true for this first round on their attack.
Yeah, that was just
This play right here.
a weird round. A really weird round. You know, Citizen more than likely went for that because they called for execute and the stairs were on fire, and he was like, well, I can't just leave my boys hanging.
Yep. He's like, at worst case, I will be like a 5-second distraction, and hopefully the construction dudes trade me out.
The best.
That's what you got to be sometimes. It's just a distraction.
Yeah, I'm just giggling because the usual way that breaks down is all of your teammates like, man, I hate that round went that way. Wait, Ben, what happened to you? And he's like, I tried to run through the fire.
It's like, my mic's not working.
Yeah, I can't. My body shut down.
We'll talk about it later.
Yeah, I no longer had feet by the end of that, actually.
So dire wolves do lock in site number 1. It's upstairs for number 2, as one might expect here for Oregon. Captain Tao is going to show up here for the Sonics to try and make their execute a little bit easier as a result of moving up here. Either put him on rappel. Plenty of places, actually, the gunner could potentially send those micro boats out from, make the setup a little bit more difficult to work for the defense. Line to help out with the intel game, kind of lock these DW members in place when Sonics need to make aggressive moves as well. And then the usual assortment. The E1D charge, the first one there from the Lion, going to work its way out. Already tracking one member. The dire wolves retreating from the attic area very early on, though, so not really going to be actionable for those players on the Sonics. They were just wanting to make sure no one was hiding near the windows or doors more than anything.
You think Direwolf's favorite artist is Duran Duran?
Wait, what?
You think Direwolf's favorite artist is Duran Duran?
Why?
Because they're on the hunt. Like the wolves. No?
That's like,
Okay.
so here's the problem with that. That's a good
that
joke.
band is from the 80s?
Yeah, that's a good joke, but our audience is probably way too young.
Every Zoomer's like, Stokes, shut up.
Like a couple really big Zoomer Duran Duran fans.
If they didn't play Rock Band, then they're uncultured anyways, and they should just stop and go play Rock Band. You shouldn't even be here right now. Go to GameStop, do something with your life. Nerd. Like, come on. Haven't even played Rock Band. Anyways, Sonics in on this one. We're going to have the Nook in play. We actually haven't seen too much of this op inside of this game thus far.
True, we have not. A couple pickups from it for the dire wolves back on the previous rounds, but it was usually spotted out, I think, before it could have any immediate effectiveness. It just ended up working with the rest of the team at the end of the day. Just became a normal part of the lineup. Never really saw the unique aspects of the operator come out to play. Jackie, in the meanwhile, a very unique nade thrown over his head, nearly loses his life, but survives about 5 HP. Not much longer after that, though, as he tries to go for the peek on the big window. Gunner more than ready for that. Geo as well, picking up another frag here against Ray, leaving it down to the final 3 now for the players on DW. Quite the presence still established, however, downstairs, but the cross is there to correspond to it. Grixer is lost, but 2 more trades show up for the Sonics to make up for it. Souffle is all that remains. He cannot even stop the plant now. Tries to go for an immediate gunfight. Geo shuts that one down, and the Sonics are now up on map point.
Sonics quickly getting the steering wheel here.
Let's fucking go.
Not wanting to mess anything up on this offensive front anymore. Pretty lackadaisical with their last offensive round, but this one, much more coordination, much stronger on all fronts, just not allowing dire wolves any room to breathe, especially that cross there. You can see the amount of bodies they had in the area on that top floor to assist with the remaining member as well. Not going to let it come down to disjointed 1v1, so very well done from the Sonics. 6-2 right now on their homestead, Oregon.
Just one more round to go, of course. Pressure now really going to boil up here for the dire wolves roster. It's got to be 4 consecutive rounds in a row. Double of the count that they already have here on top of the 2 that they still need to claim. Match that. We'll see how exactly they're going to try and work things, as it is another upstairs hold. A little bit of a matrix being created on the first floor there, as well as still has reinforcements going down from peak on a second ago, but normal assortment being played out over here is actually, I will correct myself, it does look like Jackie Wu maybe wants to stick around for a little bit of play on the inside of Arsenal here, so some surprises may still yet to be seen as he tried to go for the pre-fire angle, very close to a lineup, but just not going to get it, unfortunately.
Now we're going to have Grixer back on the Nook. Fairly aggressive assault coming in here, just via the operator lineup. Pretty picturesque for that with the Gar hook. No way they try for the hatch inside a kitchen, right? I'm just thinking crazy thoughts here. Yeah, this is looking more like a big tower take. Good news, at least for my harebrained schemes, right? Gonna have Grixer moving in. Oh, Oh, right over the top of his head, that pilot's helmet. Sometimes you skip a bullet through the ear, sometimes you skip right over the top of their noggin. You gotta hit Jaeger dead center. Unfortunate for Grixer there as a bullet goes wide and Pekin will take him down. They're gonna stay equalized, but not before Souffle and Rexon have something to say. Both of them firing off, and we're still gonna stay equal.
Soniqs refuse to give up the player advantage. There's a constant trade shown up both times. The Direwolves' own defensive picks here, needing to position themselves very aggressively just to get those picks, and then only to have those players get immediately traded out. Just not the way the Direwolves had wanted this rounder, really most of these rounds, to play out into their favor, as they just cannot keep up pace with the raw fragging prowess that we've had of the Soniqs so far this event here. Citizen going to start moving these Rotero drones forward as well to deal with any pieces of utility that might be present on the inside of the building, and a little bit more difficult for his teammates to knock down. They want to try and knock out Walken. However, it's going to be a little bit difficult to achieve unless Citizen can sneak another one of those Rotero drones to the other side of the wall. So we do have it reinforced right now. Possibility for Rexon to like sneak it off from down below too if we get a ping onto it or something. But there we go. Looks like the Rotero drone managed to handle it. So that'll pop things open, give the Soniqs roster access to games.
Attackers have located a bomb.
3 versus 3, got the breach open, and a minute remaining. As Ace and Des would say, it's siege time. 6 stuns built up, still hard breach on Rexon, but highly doubt that'll be useful in their current debacle. Just looking to try and get around some of these fights. The stuns could definitely play into that, though. Oh, big fight here for Jackie Wu. Silence. Nobody wanting to make a move.
That's from Soniqs have to trigger it here. They don't, not necessarily. Oh man, Citizen with the patience of a saint waits for Jackie Wu to reposition. And for Jackie Wu, it's just so unfortunate. Ray will be able to make up the difference and then some as he pushes forward, knocks out Geo, and got the trade on the Citizen. Rexon alone here in the 1v2. 10 seconds to play, and he's already been clipped off of half of his HP. That shot came in from down below, absolutely decked him. No real intel to play off of here. Ray, once again, just wrapping his way into a win. A triple kill on the round for him. As the Direwolves hold on. 3 more still needed, however, to bring it back to OT.
We've seen some very aggressive fronts from Direwolves, but that was calculated from Ray C. And a moment where they needed him as well, able to get it done inside of Attic. Jackie Wu, the timing on this, so unfortunate. Sends that 1 bullet down range, and I think that's what gives the goods up over towards Citizen. Immediately takes a swing after that. Soniqs still well within their right to take this map, but it's going to take 1 round more.
So, as we move forward yet again, Soniqs with another opportunity. Still plenty of them, so I doubt they're sweating too much as of yet here. I'll take a look once again and see if there's going to be any huge surprises to either the setup or the lineup for either team. Not really looking like we'll get too much of that. The Direwolves are forced onto a site here now, and see the repicks show up for the Soniqs once again. We are back down into the basement, of course, so it's the fairly roam-centric lineup for the Direwolves. It's going to be popping up yet again. Still not necessarily pay out the best for them the last time. So we're going to see if the players will kind of peel this one back, try to play it a little bit closer to the site, maybe not have those hard lock setups. So late into the round, such as over towards Garage, that ended up leading to early kills for the Soniqs. Looking like we might be in for that a little bit more on this round here, as it seems like they're playing a little bit closer to just the staircases and the rotation points this time, instead of trying to outright establish bunker positions out from the site.
Yeah, I'm totally down for aggressive positioning, but let's just not enter a silly, goofy mood, you know? Like, let's just not put ourselves in Garage and do that kind of stuff. It's just a really, really easy way of dying, especially Garage, right? There's so many soft panels around, easy windows for the offense to abuse and kill you. You know, if you want to get aggressive, make sure you at least have more than one singular avenue to escape from where you are. So, just like that, Jackie Wu is 1 footstep away from the door. He was positioned in the middle of the hallway instead of all the way to the right. He might actually live there, and sometimes it's a game of inches when it comes out to this game. All aggressive front here. Gunner doesn't sense the assault as he's on drone. Very well read here from Pekin.
Direwolves again. Not giving up the fight. Able to trade things back out there. Bringing into that even 4v4. Bit of a slowdown will happen from the Soniqs' perspective as a result of that. They are probably wanting to lean into a finishing a round sooner rather than later here, so they need to clean up these mid-round situations as that gun got stuck on the door somehow. Citizen will just work his way past that. Himself down in a freezer. Not going to fully swing it just yet, of course, as we do have DW players waiting right on the other end of that one. So a little bit dangerous for this point in the round, but now that he's getting some more team support, we could see that postulated over the next 30 seconds or so.
Postulating the possibilities, Jonathan. I called you Jonathan again. You're welcome. Apologies. Actually. Hard breach down. Waiting on Soniqs to get the rest of their tasks done. Got to get your chores done before you get your treats. Soniqs going to start working down these stairwells. Start breaking up some of these lines of sight are the Dire Wolves, using those kunai to their maximum potential. Have to give over a piece of soft breach if they do want to break that up there for Pillar, but I did give away Pekin's position as well towards the Soniqs. Still a 4v4. Both of these squads fantastic at keeping this man advantage throughout the game. It's just been Soniqs that has time and time again been better with these dying moments. Looking to be so yet again. Rexon going to come down main stairs. 2 frag grenades at his disposal from this position. Nothing he can really land on, but he can break up some of this soft breach. Rid of one of the Kiba barriers. Another nade could go decently deep here, but he's going to get on the clone. It's going to be a push in now. Rexon with a fake out. Rexon with 2 big kills here from Laundry. They'll find the man advantage as well. Citizen finds one on the other end. It's down to Ray C in construction. Nice kill onto Citizen, but where's this plant coming? They don't have the case right now. They have to try and find Ray C. An aggressive front, he's gonna back into the corner, pushes back in towards elbow, but nobody's home. Rexon's got the case, he's gonna start the plant. Ray C has a smoke, he can break things up over towards the freezer side. It's a plant in tight right, he'll get one, has the opportunity, and Ray C keeps the Dire Wolves alive.
Ray C just refuses to give up. He's bringing round after round of incredible play, specifically on the defense as well, to keep DW in the fight, keep them in the running here in this series. Like we said, it's not going to change anything up for the overall tournament, but it's still fun to watch as Ray C gives us a beautiful round. Put a 4th one on the board for the Dire Wolves. The Soniqs still on match point, or map point rather here, of course, but struggling to lock in that 7th round.
Ray C, Ray C, Ray C. I bet his favorite artist is Duran Duran, actually, because, I mean, he really was on the hunt there. I'm just saying. Fantastic stuff. What a round from him, clutching up with the smoke, using the full kit as well. I love to see that, John. Usually when it gets down to the clutch moments, a lot of us at home, right, we're panicking, like, oh my gosh, there's so many different ways, so many different outcomes this could go. Instead, Ray C, he sees it clear as day. I'm just going to try and play this to my fullest advantage, use everything I have in my hands. He does, reaches into that back pocket, breaks up that freezer angle with the smoke. Makes it toward their 2 disjointed 1v1s up against the Soniqs, and boy is he good for it. What a round from him. Now Dire Wolves bringing it back on the defensive side. Soniqs quite confident in their Oregon as always, but is it starting to fall apart?
Well, we're going to find out here over the next 2 rounds if they can actually keep things pieced together. IQ showing up for Grixer here as well, so they are also starting to adopt this one. We've been seeing more and more IQ picks throughout this event so far here. In this case, going to spot out some early Mira, or not Mira, excuse me, going to spot out an early Valkyrie camera. And then to potentially take down on their early upstairs clear. There's quite a bit of an upstairs roam as well here for the Dire Wolves, despite it being a first floor hold, as you do need to deploy to that extension, of course. So let's see how long they're going to be able to keep the delay rolling and potentially trip up the Soniqs yet again for what would be a 3rd out of 4 rounds. The Dire Wolves need to complete the comeback set.
That is a truly disgusting little window angle there from Grixer, or from rather Gunner. And there it is. The shattered glass actually making it to where it's basically frosted. You can't see Gunner through it. Just potentially a shadow. Dire Wolves can't even see that. Gonna get taken down. Ray C, the clutch king from the last round, down for the count. He's gonna have to watch from the bench here, see if he can get some cameras going for his teammates, assist them with the remaining time that they have here. Soniqs have been pretty good so far in this tournament on the offensive side of Oregon, a 58% win percentage. Dire Wolves have been doing their best to try and dwindle those numbers. Looking to try and continue it here as well. Nice little peek, but they're just going to shift him back behind the bookshelf in the attic. Be able to stay up, but Citizen might have found a gap onto site here. Looks like Direwolves might be in some trouble as he sneaks in down low. The plant's going to start over inside of meeting. Not a single soul in the area. Every person is upstairs or off in small tower for Direwolves. They've practically given the keys of the castle over to the Soniqs. This is looking like Oregon might be in their hands.
The plant down. Difficulty increases tremendously, but Jackie Wu, much like his teammate Ray C on the previous rounds, and not giving up here. Still going for the fight. Souffle in for this one as well. Jackie Wu already halfway through the counter defuse, but his teammate now dead. They need to push it though. He stuck it out right, and they can't take him down. The nade's too slow. They sneak out a counter defuse and continue to hold on. We're going to round 12 to settle this one.
Probably a good time for attack timeout. Let's listen in here and see what's going on. Well, they will have attack timeout here in a second. So let's wait for us to get past this
replays first
thing. But yeah, that was Soniqs' round all day. There's my opinion. There you go. That's all I got.
So, beginning of the rounds is really good. You just need to tighten up on you.
You need to just say that situation. They just say the operators instead of saying one he won, they won, he won. Because I don't know what's going on.
It's fine. I sleep.
Right here, we'll see where they go.
Pretty sure they're gonna go kids. They have to.
Yeah, kids is probably the dangerous. So just tighten up. He's good.
Let's go, Pablo. Let's do this. Let's do it, boys. Let's go. They have to go kids, right?
If we ever do that again, by the way, shoot them.
No panicking, no overreaction or anything. Not really worried too much. Like we said, pretty aware of the issues here. Just a little bit sloppy when it comes to the closeouts right now, and I would generally agree with that.
Good little tiny note there from Citizen. Just trying to write out some comms as well, just for you guys at home that are trying to figure things out for yourself, maybe trying to help out your friends or something like that. He was talking about saying, oh, don't talk about how there's one here, one there, as in like, oh, I killed one in meeting, I killed one in laundry, I killed one classroom. He wants the operator name, which is extremely important. If you know who you killed and you can say, you know, Azami dead, or something along those lines, that is huge for a lot of players because, you know, whether they saw him on a drone earlier or you were talking about them or something, you know, if they have some semblance of where they are and that person is now dead, they might be able to play their situation out a little bit differently there as well. So just those tiny, tiny growing pains from Soniqs, because just think about this. That's something they're talking about, a very basic communicative thing, and they have been so dominant in this tournament. It's pretty crazy to think about. Wild thing to consider.
Certainly has been a rise to the occasion for the Soniqs roster so far at this event. A few bumpy rounds here in the Direwolves game have nearly taken this first map to overtime, which is not necessarily an expected result out of this matchup, looking at it in the pregame. So we'll have to see if Soniqs can wrestle control over things in just this one round, or if we're potentially going to need the full breadth of OT to settle this one. The Direwolves still looking to play a little bit of spoiler here for the Soniqs, mind you, as they can reduce their group exit position. Soniqs, I believe, sitting in second or first in their group at the moment. The loss here could hurt that, bump them down into third if they are not careful. Very well-placed drone, as we saw there. Giving over some good intel as to the way that DW have set themselves up, but not going to be leading into any form of actionable setup just as of yet. I think Beacon
saw that drone.
Yep, saw the drone, but there we go. Is able to take it down. Now going to be able to rotate back over to the inside of security too. So aware of that, the fact that he's been spotted out here, and they know that he's roaming back over into kitchen every once in a while too. So just has to keep an extra watch on his backside here. Gunner sneaking in another one of those Rotera drones, just takes out a little bit more utility. Closer to the actual site too. As time continues to diminish, we get a little over the halfway point here. EE1D's coming out as we can see the Soniqs getting primed for the execute. A nade primed as well. Takes out one of the most dangerous members of the Direwolves roster. Ray C down for the count first this time. Not a great sign for our defenders.
Jackie Wu will pick up Geo though. That's a lion out, so I'd say a fair shake at the end of the day, although Grixer will push them forward. One step closer they come victory here on Oregon. Jackie Wu goes down. Some nice reads here from the Pulse, though. They are aware that there's potential for a player to be down in freezer. This has to happen now for Harambe. It's now or never. They need some big kills, and actually both of them are down here. A big gunfight onto Citizen. The plant starting. Harambe, does he have the stop? Nitro Cell, nothing. It only does damage to Rexon. He does still have one chance here. But where's Souffle? He needs some assistance. They're both a little separated. The Nitro Cell, it's not going to get there in time. Playing over in the corner on concrete makes it nigh impossible, anyway. And Grixer already got it, as you said, John. They've locked this one up. Now Direwolves have to fight back.
Souffle first to ascend, making his way up through main stairs. Harambe probably going to wait for the cue from his teammate here and make the pinch over towards White. Attention will have obviously been drawn to Harambe, of course, because he shoots first, and generally the angles are set up to counter him anyway, so it makes sense. Z moves in, though. Harambe first to go down. Souffle only just now entering the walk-in area. Very detached retake leads to the end of the road here. The Soniqs finally close it down in round number 12. 7-5 is the map 1 scoreline going into the Soniqs' hands.
A little weird there for the Soniqs, but they still make it out alive on Oregon in regulation. We're going to toss y'all to a quick break, and we'll be back with our next map.